Purana
Tam vyasa sunum upayami.
Tam vyasa sunam upayami.
Gurum muninam.
Gurum muninam.
One more time.
Shall we take turns, Prabhu?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe somebody can do it.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam.
Yeah,
Yasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam.
Adhyatma deepam atithishatam tamondam.
Adhyatma deepam atitishatam tamoandham.
Samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam.
Samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam.
Tam vyasa sunam upayami gurum munina.
Tam vyasa sunam upayami gurum munina.
Thank you.
Somebody want to do the synonyms?
I can do, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yaha, he who. Swa anubhavam, self-assimilated, experienced. Akhila, all around. Shruti, the Vedas. Saram, cream. Ekam, the only one. Adhyatma, transcendental. Deepam, torchlight. Atiti tirshatam, desiring to overcome. Tamaha andham, deeply dark material existence. Samsarinam, of the materialistic men. Karunaya, out of causeless mercy. Aha, said. Purana, supplement to the Vedas. Guhyam, very confidential. Tam, unto him. Vyasa Sunam, the son of Vyasadev. Upayami, let me offer my obeisances. Guru, the spiritual master. Munina, of the great sages. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Someone translation, please.
Prabhu, I can do that.
Yeah.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadev, who out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge. After having personally assimilated it by experience. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Purport.
Hare Krishna, can you read, Prabhu?
Yeah, Mati, go ahead.
In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras were compiled by Vasudeva with a view to presenting just the cream of Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently he has personally realized the commentary Srimad Bhagavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic men who want to cross completely over nescience, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Someone else want?
There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or an insignificant ant can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is unhappy. Materialists can get out. Did I miss it? Sorry. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet the unhappy materialists can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to the camel who relishes thorny twigs because he likes the taste of the twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by the thorns. Similarly, to the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey, and although he is always harassed by his own, he's harassed by his own material creations. He does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds of thousands of karmis, only a few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of the labyrinth. Such intelligent persons are called jnanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such jnanis, but Srila Vyasadeva, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of the Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous men, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavata Purana. It is clearly said that this Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Sukadeva realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Sukadeva, the Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of material existence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, before we proceed further, I just want to give the context of these words. 1.2.3 is the second chapter, where the sages have assembled in Naimisharanya. So there are two groups of sages. One group is headed by Sutta Goswami, another group is headed by Shaunaka Rishi. So they are all doing yajnas there on the bank of Ganga. And then Shaunaka Rishi asked his question to Sutta Goswami. What is the most beneficial thing for the human being? So that's where how the Bhagavatam is starting. So here this verse, Sutta Goswami is glorifying Shukadeva Goswami. Actually, Sutta Goswami hears Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadeva Goswami because he was present in the assembly when Shukadev spoke Bhagavatam to Parishit Maharaj. So many people gathered at that time for 7 days. So there are many sages, Rishi, Munis, Gyanis, even like Karmis and Brahm, transcendentalists, who are trying to focus on Brahman, so all kinds of people were there gathered. In that group, Sutta Goswami was also there. So Shaunaka Rishi asking this thing, questions too, like what happened there, what did you hear and all. So Sutta Goswami is explaining that the glorifying Shukadev Goswami in this words, that Shukadev Goswami is a realized person, and he is he knows Srimad Bhagavatam. He realized it from his father, and he's tasting all the mellows of Srimad Bhagavatam and is offering obeisances to him. That is the words. So here Prabhupada is starting out that how Bhagavatam is a commentary, natural commentary of Vedanta Sutras. Okay? And if someone who is interested in getting out of this world, whoever has a desire, for them Bhagavatam becomes available for that fortunate soul. But unfortunately, the many people, they don't even realize that we have to get out of this world. This is not our home. They think that they are this, they actually accept the body as their own self, and the extension of the body also as their own self, like family, community, country, entire thing. So they work very hard. And Prabhupada gives an example like how in desert, camel is chewing on the thorns, and when it's chewing the thorns, just cuts its mouth inside, like, and it bleeds in the mouth. So it mixes the thorn and the blood, and it drinks it, and camel enjoys that, the taste of its own blood and the thorns, and thinking that, oh, it's so relishable. So that is the situation of materialistic people in this world, that they work so hard, hardly they live for 60, 70 years, and they work so hard and enjoy for a little bit with whatever they earn, and thinking that they're enjoying it, but actually it's, as Bhagavatam is saying, that it's just like camel chewing on the thorny bushes and mixing with his own blood and drinking it. So there's nothing wrong in working hard, but it should be for a purpose of becoming a devotee of Krishna, serving a devotee, and also become liberated and attain prema, which is the topmost goal of any human life. So there are 4 goals which usually we hear: dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but the topmost transcendental goal beyond that is prema. Even the moksha is also a kind of material goal. You have dharma, you have artha, you have kama, and you have moksha. So moksha is also material goal, but beyond that, transcendental goal is prema. So our human life is meant to be aspiring for prema, and that is the ideal and highest goal, and that is the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vedavyas has compiled everything, and he also compiled sutras. There are around 430 sutras, close to 430 sutras. So these sutras are coded forms of entire Vedas and Upanishads, Agamas and everything. So the Gyanis who wants to get out of this world, who are tired of this material world, they read this Vedanta Sutras, and they gain the knowledge to how to do the yoga and all, and how to realize Brahman. But that is not the end of it, because that is not our goal. Our goal is to actually take the shelter of pure devotee and attain love for God, love for Krishna. So Krishna Prema, that is our goal. So Vedavyas knows that this will not fulfill the entire purpose of Vedanta Sutra, writing on Vedanta Sutra. So he compiled a natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra. It is called Bhagavad Puran, Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's what we are reading right now. So that is very utmost important scripture. And if I heard from one devotee that if all the books, all the literature is lost in this world, and only Bhagavatam is there, then we have not lost anything. Like anything you can think of, any literature you can think of, it's all lost in dissolution. But we just have Bhagavatam, then we didn't lose anything. We have everything. So that much important is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Yeah. So we'll continue reading this purport. Someone wants to read the purport continuation?
I can read, Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead.
One unrivaled commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Sripad Sankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew that the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. He wrote his Shankara Bhasya, and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new presentation. One should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavad school. From this introductory shloka, the beginning student should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Paramhansas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead, despite Sripad Shankaracharya's admission that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is above the material creation. The envious Mayavadi cannot have access to the Bhagavatam, but those who are really anxious to get out of this material existence may take shelter of this Bhagavatam because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Shukadev Goswami. It is the transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mata. So in this part of the purport, Prabhupada is explaining that how Shankaracharya didn't touch the Bhagavatam because if he comments on Bhagavatam, he has to talk about bhakti, but his purpose of incarnation was not to teach bhakti, but to actually divert people from non-Vedic culture to Vedic culture. So he has to stop there. So he didn't comment on Bhagavatam, but out of his love for God, he did mention many times that Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we should always chant his names. But his followers really did not get that point, but they were very much bent upon reading the Sharirika Bhasya and following the Mayavadi principles. But still, he accomplished his mission, Shankaracharya, Sripa Shankaracharya. But for a devotee, we should not touch that commentary, because that was written for time, place, and circumstances. It is not it's not applicable for eternity. So for us, the Bhagavatam is the one we should take shelter of. And through Bhagavatam, we can realize Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman. Yeah. So yeah, anybody have any reflection, comments, questions here before we move to the bhajan?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have
Yeah.
two questions, Prabhu. One is that why moksha is not counted in the spiritual as a spiritual goal, and second is that Shankaracharya wrote Shariraka Bhashya. Is it his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, or it is totally different literature?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha are material goals because they are throughout the Vedas they are written. Because moksha means it's a cessation of material problems. It is not really you don't get anything, but it's just absence of material pain. So desiring the absence of material pain is also material desire. Whereas desiring for prema, for Krishna, is a spiritual desire. So all four comes under material category. And whereas the prema comes under spiritual category, because moksha may not really give you Krishna, but moksha is included within bhakti, but it doesn't really, moksha is not a goal, it's just a side effect of bhakti. And because when you do bhakti, you actually, all the material means klesha agni, all the kleshas will go away. And moksha is also the same thing. Moksha means no kleshas, klesha agni. So the 6 effects of bhakti are there. So in that, the very first effect is klesha agni. So it will destroy the kleshas. Moksha also is the same thing, but the thing is, it's just a very it's a subset of that. So still it comes under material thing. It doesn't really come under spiritual. It's just this absence of material pains and pleasures. But for the soul to be completely satisfied and happy, you need to have prema. That's why prema is spiritual, whereas all others are material. because they won't really satisfy the Atma. So that is the first one. And second one, Shankaracharya actually commented on Vedanta Sutra, Brahma Sutra, not on Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sharirika Bhashya is a commentary on Vedanta Sutras. So there are sutras, around 430 sutras are there. So he commented on each sutra in an impersonal way, in a Mayavadi way, just to take the people from non-Vedic culture to Vedic culture. Because that time when Shankaracharya came, it was in 780, 700 or 800. So Buddhism was prominent. No one was doing any puja archana or no one was following Vedas. So he wanted to bring back the Vedas into normal day-to-day life. That's why that was his mission actually. His mission was not to give bhakti, but to bring back the Vedas into general society, and so that people can accept it. And the only way to make them accept is to give them Mayavad philosophy. The Mayavad philosophy is so alluring that people will easily turn towards it. So that's why it's actually a false philosophy, but it allures people towards the Vedas. That was his purpose. It was for time, place, and circumstance. So he just commented on Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra. He didn't touch Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam commentary started by Ramanujacharya, then Madhvacharya, and then we have from now we are reading from Srila Prabhupada. We have a very famous commentary by Sridhar Swami. That is what Prabhupada has used in giving commentary in English.
Thank you, Prabhuji. One more thing. What exactly is Mayavad philosophy, Prabhu? When we say Mayavad, what is it?
So Mayavad philosophy, it can come in many flavors, but the most prominent Mayavad philosophy is that Krishna comes actually from Brahman, takes the form, comes into the material world and takes the form of a body of flesh and blood, and does the pastimes. They say that God comes down and takes a human form with blood and flesh and does the pastimes, and once done he dies and he merges into Brahman. It's a Maya. So like that means they say all the incarnations are Maya. Everything is Maya. Even Krishna's incarnations are Maya, and everything else Maya. They consider everything Maya except Brahman. So that is a foundation of that, because they're envious of Krishna. That is a foundation of Mayavad philosophy. On top of that, they add so many things. They have so many ideas, because the mind is so Mayic mind that they get so many ideas. Just with being envious of Krishna, they get so many other ideas. And the second idea they get is like, when Brahman comes down and takes the form, avatar, and does the Leela and goes back, eventually by doing my yoga sadhana, I can also become Narayan. You are Narayan, I am Narayan, everybody is Narayan. So that is the second form of Mayavad. So yeah, there are so many things they can think of. Actually, there's a book called The History of Mayavad. It's written by Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. It's available online. If you see how the Mayavad has started, because of what idea it has come into the being, and how it became so popular, and why it became so popular, and why it is so misleading and dangerous to think like that. And also he destroyed all the Mayavadi philosophies with the scriptures from Puranas and not Puranas, from Upanishads and Vedas, with quoting from all the verses. So it's a big subject. There's a book for it, altogether. But the one thing we should remember is Mayavad is not real, and it's not helpful for bhakti at all.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
You're welcome. So we'll stop here and we'll go to bhajan.
Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks to you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for the explanations.
Today's bhajan is from Sharanagati book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the category of Atma Nivedan. मानस देहो गिहो जो किछु मोर आर पिलू तू आपदे नंद किशोर
मानस देहो गेहो जो किछु पीलू तुआ नंद किशोर
मानस देहो गेहो जो किछु मोर आर पिलू तू आपदे नंद किशोर
मानस देहो गेहो जो किछु आर पीलू तुआ पदे नंद किशोर.
Translation. Mind, body, and family, whatever may be mine, I have surrendered at your lotus feet, O youthful son of Nanda.
संपदे विपदे जीवने मरणे
संपदे विपदे जीवने मरणे
दाई ममा गेला तुआ उपदवरणी
दाई
In good fortune or in bad, in life or at death, all my difficulties have disappeared by choosing those feet of yours as my only shelter. मारो भी राखो भी जो इच्छा तुहार मारो भी राखो भी जो इच्छा तुहार नित्य दास प्रति तुहा अधिकार
नित्य दास प्रति अधिकार.
Somebody could read the translation.
Slay me or protect me as you wish, for you are the master of your eternal servant. Hare Krishna.
जन्म भी मोहि इच्छा जदि तो
जन्म भी मोहि
भक्त ग्रहे जनी जन्म हाउ मोर
भक्त ग्रहे जनी जन्म हाउ मोर.
If it is your will that I be born again, then maybe it be in the home of your devotee.
कित जन्म हाउ जथा तू अदासा
कीटा जन्म तुआ दासा
बहिर्मुख ब्रह्म जन्मे नाही आशा
बहिर्मुखा ब्रह्म जन्मे नहि आशा. May I be born again, even as a worm, so long as I may remain your devotee. I have no desire to be born as a Brahma. ours to you.
Mukti spraha vihinaje bhakta.
Bhukti mukti spruha vihina je bhakta.
Labhaite tako sanga anurakta.
Labhaite tako sanga
Anurakta.
I yearn for the company of the devotee who is completely devoid of all desire for worldly enjoyment or liberation.
Janak janani daitatana. Janak
Dayitatana.
Prabhu Guru Pati Tuhu Sarvamoy.
Prabhu Guru Patituhu Sarvamoy.
Father, mother, lover, son, lord, preceptor, and
Husband,
husband.
everything to me.
Everything to him. Bhakti kohe chuno kana.
Bhakti vinodati sunokana.
Radhanath tuhu amar parana.
Radhanatha
Parana.
Thakura Bhaktivinoda says, go ahead please.
Thakura Bhaktivinoda says, "O Kana, please hear me. O Lord of Radha, you are my life and soul."
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jaya. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, actually I wanted to ask a question.
Is Prabhuji there? No, please go ahead.
Mataji, actually,
Yeah.
Mayavadi philosophy says Aham Brahmasmi, right, Prabhu?
Right. Prabhuji is not
Does
with
it?
Mataji. Yes, yes. but
Sorry, Mataji.
Yeah.
Does it mean like I am the God? I am
Yes.
the God, or God is
I am
like us, like human being?
Aham, me, Brahman, that Brahman, Asmi, I am the God. I am that Brahman.
Then, but when Prabhuji explained like what is Mayavadi philosophy, Prabhuji told like they feel like Brahman, God comes from Brahman, like body and flesh, something like that, Mataji. So does it means like God is like a human being, but Aham Brahmasmi means like I am God, right?
Yeah, the concept is what Prabhuji was saying is Mayavadis, Brahman is the only truth. Everything else is temporary. Then if Brahman, just light, consciousness is the truth, then how about whatever we are seeing now? The forms, the people, everything. Where did this come from? They say when the Maya interacts with Brahman, then that's where, from there, all the forms come out. So in their theory is, Maya is so strong that it can affect Brahman and change that consciousness to something, a perishable form. So according to that theory, it's just Brahman, the consciousness that was present eternally. But when Maya touched Brahman, then that took the form of Krishna. So Krishna was not there before for them. Krishna was never there. It was only Maya. It was only Brahman light. But Krishna came because Maya came and touched the Brahman. In the same way, and after Krishna came, Krishna died, and he attained, he went back and merged into Brahman. That's their theme. So they say, because it has happened to Krishna, I am also like that. I am also just consciousness. I didn't have this body form before. But because Maya came and touched me, which is because I am Brahman, I'm in this form now. So if I do the yoga and everything, then I will overcome this. As Krishna put his body aside and merged into Brahman, I can put my body aside and merge into Brahman. So once everybody is merging into Brahman, then everybody is becoming God.
Yeah.
Like that. So there's no difference between Krishna and me. Because Krishna also had form after Maya touched Brahman. I am also having form after Maya touched Brahman.
Okay, Mataji.
I just gave you a gist of it, Mataji. But the whole philosophy runs on this thread.
Okay.
There's no difference between Krishna and me. After Krishna died, he merged into Brahman. I can also merge into Brahman and become God after I die, if I follow this jnana. So that's Mayavadi.
Okay, Mataji.
It is so distasteful. I don't want to end on that note, but because Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He's Sachidananda Vigraha. His form is Sat, eternal, Chit, fully cognizant. He's not come and go form as Mayavadis are thinking, eternally existing. And Sat, Chit, fully cognizant. And the Maya is the energy of Krishna. It has no capacity to touch him and change him.
Yeah.
Maya is completely under the control of Lord Krishna. Right? The Sat Chit Ananda, always blissful. Not that Maya will touch and then Krishna will come out of it and Krishna will go through the same pain as I'm going through. No, he's always blissful. Vigraha, that Vigraha, the form of Lord Krishna, is eternally present. It doesn't appear just because Maya has touched the Brahman. It doesn't appear like that. Eternally present in the Vaikuntha realm. So on that note, we will end. But you have the answer, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
The whole Saririka Bhashya is based on this conception. Vedanta Sutra are aphorisms, the one-liners, 555. That Vedanta Sutra commentary is given by Vedavyasa, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? And the same Vedanta Sutra is taken and the commentary is given based on this conception of Mayavadi by Shankaracharya, which is called Saririka Bhashya.
Yeah.
So
okay, Mataji.
we'll end on the note of Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.